how's it going? Welcome back to the NDD Games YouTube channel. So I'm going to spark some life into my Dead series, Blast from the Past. It's a series that I started just for like my own personal playlist that I can look back over decks, formats in Yu-Gi-Oh that I've played in, have a bit of connection, a bit of nostalgia to myself, as I am a fairly recent player, starting in 2018 properly. But this one is a special video because it's my first ever regional top. Also, my first ever regional. If you didn't know, I topped my first ever regional. Beginner's luck. I don't know. You guys gotta give me credit for that, but but yeah, maybe it's beginner's luck. I don't know. But yeah, this was a Swansea regional in December 2018. And as some of you guys know, I started playing October 2018. So a couple of months after I started playing properly, this was the first, meta deck, top 5 deck, top 10 deck, I suppose, of the format that I wanted to play, invest in. I think I'm going to go over my journey in Yu-Gi-Oh! On a separate video. If you guys want to see that, like my journey from where I started playing up to now, let me know. I'd be really keen to let you guys know how I started playing and stuff. But yeah, this is quite a special video for me, sharing my my 2018 first ever regional top, and yeah, I'll explain it. So the format was, from what I remember, it was Rongo Bongo format, Thunder Dragons, Sky Striker, and Altergeist and Trickstar. So Rongo Miniad was a XYZ monster that basically locked your opponent out of using cards, activating cards. When it had like 5 material or 4 material. There's a combo you could do with a Ghost. What's it called? The Ghost. The rank 3. The one that negates monster effects and you both draw a card. I can't remember what it's called. Ghost Summon. Anyway, there's a combo you can do with that, and you basically attach materials to Rongo Miniad, which is now banned, and it could basically turn and skip your opponent. It was a warrior sort of spam deck, but that was the best deck of the format. Closely behind that, we had Thunder Dragons and Sky Striker. And then in the tier 2 sort of category, we had Burning Abyss, Trickstar, Altergeist, and Pendulum was like around there as well. Yeah, it was okay format. I wouldn't say it's a great format because Rongo Miniad was a pretty crazy card. But regional level, it wasn't too bad because no one, like when you play UK regionals, obviously at the time I didn't know this. It was my first ever regional, but you don't tend to see like the best deck as you would at YCS or like a bigger event. You wouldn't see the best deck like throughout the room. And if you did, not every player was like super skilled with it, super confident with it. So anything can top a UK regional, as you guys have probably seen in recent weeks with the events coming back. But yeah, this is what I achieved top 8 with. I think I finished 6th place and went X2. I literally went XO up till round 4. So yeah, I did pretty well. It was pretty crazy. I still remember it quite vividly. And yeah, this is the deck I played with. So I'm going to try and explain to you guys, this is how I played my deck. This is the choices I made, considering the format back in the day. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Apologies if I sound a bit bunged up as well. I've been a little bit ill, but I'm feeling much better. Hence the lack of content. But we're back. So yeah, straight back into it. So hand traps. The only hand traps we played was Ash and Joel. So Joel was okay, but the main reason we played Joel is because of the interaction with Reincarnation. I'm sure you guys have nightmares of this interaction, but basically, if your opponent added a card from the deck to the hand, you would go chaining 1 Reincarnation, on resolution, chaining 2 Joel, and there is a ruling interaction where it would loop your opponent's hand, basically banish their hand, and they cannot add any other cards because Joel resolves, Reincarnation resolves. Obviously change resolve backwards, your opponent just added the card, it's in the same window, and it banishes their entire hand. Crazy. No one played around this from what I remember. I was banishing Sky Striker players' hands like all day. They'd go engage, search, cool, resolution, draw, reincarnation, draw, and they'd be like, oh great, GG. But yeah, that's the only reason we played draw. But like against the mirror match, against Sky Striker, it wasn't too bad either. So yeah, that's where we played draw. And then obviously the Trickstar engine at the time was Candina, 3 Lycoris, 1 Lilybell. Firewall was banned I think a month or two before this list, but there was a cool loop you could do with Lilybell and Firewall, but that wasn't legal at the time, so we didn't play that. But I love Licorice. Opening Licorice Cantina is great because you play around Impermanence. You'd go Cantina, they'd go Effect Veiler, Impermanence, you chain Licorice, and the target's gone, and you still resolve. Pretty cool interaction. Not the most like high ceiling deck, but I feel like it has little cool interactions that your opponent doesn't know about, and it can just win you a game for free sometimes. We also played Each a Million. So when I first started playing, I was watching loads of content on YouTube. So like watching the World Championships from 2018. Obviously Trickstar won that World Championships, and the guy played Each a Millions, and I thought this card was so cool. Like, this card's so unique, and it could get around Colossus, it could get around the Sky Striker links, problematic link 4s like Borrowload, like crazy cards. Obviously we didn't really utilise the extra deck too much, so a lot of time it was a free summon. But yeah, really cool card. We played 3 of it, siding out. I think 1 or 2 copies going first, I believe. But yeah, really good card. We also opted to main deck 1 Pankratops. This card was a 3 legal. I think it was just brand new released, and I wanted to have 1 in case I got to a grind game and I needed to out like a big monster, which Trickstar inherently has that issue with. But as you can see in the side deck, we played 2 more. But I wanted to main deck 1. Like, theoretically, probably not the best idea, but I think from what I remember, it came up. Light Stage was at 3, phenomenal card. I don't think this card can come back. It does a lot. It's a 1 card Verte. I think if Verte got banned, this card I'd happily be okay with this card coming to 3. It's just the fact it's not once per turn, the back row lockout, and it's a 1 card Verte or a 1 card Link 2. Originally, Mermaids got this card banned, or sorry, limited, but yeah, I think this card's insane. Terraforming was at 2. If you guys remember, Terraforming was at 2 for the longest. Recently getting limited, I think, like a couple of months later. But yeah, this was pretty cool to have, because obviously more consistency with the deck. Played 2 Desire. So when I first started playing, I hated this card because I'd always banish all the cards I needed. But like, it's so important, and obviously this theory still lives to this day. The way you do your plays, then your desires. If your hand's bad and you have desires, you're probably losing anyway. If you have to use desires, you're probably losing anyway. So yeah, desires was fine. I think I banished like all Licorice a couple of times, but it is what it is. Call of the Grave was at 2 for this format. I loved this card. I still do love this card. It's bannable. It's insane. But yeah, really cool card. Played it at 2 because it has interaction with protecting your Light Stage or your Cantina. And obviously, offensively, you can set it if you don't use it and banish like a Ray or something. Or a Thunder Dragon. Scapegoat, this card was at 3. Oh wow, this card was insane back in the day. So I used this card a lot purely to link climb. Really obviously to like protect yourself, but it did come up. I think in a mirror match I played like round 5 or 4, my opponent draw reincarnation me. I played into it like an idiot, but I had Scapegoat in hand and I chained Scapegoat and it gave me 4 tokens. So yeah, I was able to like get some sort of cards on the field by playing not around it, but using its quick play effect. So yeah, that's pretty good. And obviously, like reincarnation, this card's insane. Like, me being new, like sometimes I'd blind do it and stand my phase, like if my opponent was playing Striker. And then like in round 2, my opponent was playing Striker and he had an insane hand. He was like 2 engage, 2 Ray, or like 1 Ray, and Widow Anchor or something, and I just literally blind. I was like, standby, reincarnation. Spanish his hand, and he completely drew a brick, like a brick hand, and it was pretty funny. But that was luck. Like, I think I had double Lycris set up as well, so I wanted to burn him, going into time and stuff. So yeah, really crazy card. 3 strike. So strike is one of the best trap cards ever printed, in my opinion, and I loved it in this deck because it got around Sky Striker pretty well. Same as Goza Match, these 2 cards paired up against each other were really strong. I think I played a few True Draco as well, which was pretty good because you could strike the effect and then set up Goza Match, and it can like overwhelm you with summons on your turn. I think Trickstar was quite a rough matchup. I think I lost in like round 6 to Trickstar, or round 5. I can't remember. But and then 2 Heavy Stormduster in the main deck, because it's in Trickstar it was quite tough to play like a back row card. Like you couldn't play Twin Twister at the time. I think Cosmics were like in and out the format, and I didn't really want to play like MST, but I wanted to play something a bit more impactful. So I thought Heavy Stormduster, and luckily I played like 2 or 3 Sky Striker players, and this card was insane. Like, and then side deck 2 Banker Tops, 3 border. This card's good in like the mirror, the mirror match, and against Altergeist. So I wanted to play this card, and it was insane going first because you open this with like any sort of back row card or protection is pretty good. Mind Control, so this played around Colossus. You could just Mind Control Colossus. Also, it's pretty good in the mirror match and against Sky Striker. Hence, probably play some link cards without any engage, because you can take their link and make a Hyate and attack directly, which is pretty insane. Or if they end on the Hyate, you can just take the Hyate, make a Shizuku, make a Hyate, and attack that way. So yeah, pretty good card. Shared Ride, so there was a lot of adding in the format. Rongo Bongo was prevalent. Oh yeah, this card was insane against Rongo Bongo as well. But this card, really good. Like it was a chainable card, so if they like, evenly matched you, Twin Twist you, you can just chain it, and you still get like a glorified upstart complete off it. To be fair, and then I think the card that probably wouldn't be the most matches, like from what I remember, I just making people go second, making people go first, and just blind battle phase, end battle phase, the Spanish import. It's funny how this card's still relevant to this day. Question: is this card worth getting hit? It's a good question. I don't know. I think it's an insane card, but maybe not. The fact you have to give it battle phase does make it quite fair. But yeah. And then obviously the third, Heavy Stormduster, because we didn't like back row, and it was okay going first, and it wasn't too bad going second. Especially in strap decks, because you know you're gonna be like it's gonna be a back and forth game. Extra deck isn't too much to explain other than the striker links, which I explained. A lot of it is like fodder for Scapegoat. And then obviously we played the 1 Borrowed and 1 Borrowed Sword to have options, because you can 1 Scapegoat equals one of these basically, which is pretty nuts. I made this guy a lot because it's Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon had a hard time outing this card, so we played Borrowed, and then Borrowed Sword obviously because you can just OTK out of nowhere. These cards were expensive as well back in the day. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. So if you're watching this on YouTube, check out my socials, and yeah, appreciate you guys watching.